Hello, and welcome to the Bold Black Girls podcast. I'm Aries.
And I am Kim.
And, we're here again for another week of professional black girlness.
I love it.
I think of we need another cute term for that. But since we're going to be talking about some things today that I think will pertain to, kind of that black excellence and black girl magic, sparkle dust, and all the things that we do. So we're going to talk about it and get into it, but I'm excited. How's your week been? Has it been good?
So my week has been good. I went to yoga today, R&B trap yoga.
Oh, how was that?
Wonderful. It was in Arlington. I would have invited you, but I know you weren't going to go. And I had to get up early. I also went to the rodeo last night.
Okay, rodeo. Cowgirl. Well, we had a hoedown on the Ready to Love this week.
And I saw somebody from the hoedown. I meant to tell you.
Oh, you did?
And it was hot. I won't go back. I hadn't gone to that particular one in 10 years, and I won't be going back.
Well, 10 years ago, I'm sure it wasn't as hot as it is right now.
Girl.
It's crazy.
We were in there, I was like, is there air on?
It's sad right now. I think it is scary, really.
It is.
The heat. I had on my Nike flip-flops the other day, and I was running a couple errands. This is yesterday. Like going to the store real quick, going to the post office and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, these shoes are not made for this. This about to melt.
So yesterday I went to work out and then I went into a volunteer. Well, I went to go support Kiara at a volunteer. She was speaking about LinkedIn to some young students. So I went to support and ended up kind of volunteering. But when I got back to my car, when I tell you, I was like, is this air not working? I think I had a heat headache. I had to get home. I was like, I got to because my car was so hot. It sat out there for so long. And I'm like, I am dying.
I will say, I'm not trying to flex. I really ain't. But the fact that I can make my car cool down before I get in it
is a flex.
It's clutch. Because literally, and I'm like looking at my app, I'm like, hold on, let me make sure. If I know I'm about to leave in 10 minutes or I'm about to whatever, let me get that going because it's scary.
Listen, I said, if I don't get another car that's electric, I'm definitely, because in Chicago I had an automatic starter. I was like, you need an automatic starter for the summer.
Yes.
I was like, I got to not warm up my car, cool off my car. Yes. So when I tell you, I was out of it. So yeah, so I've been embracing my journey to soft girl era.
We're there. We're here.
Yeah,
we're there.
I think we're here because I'm not taking any BS. I think I told you on the last podcast, I'm 40. I know I get cranky. I don't put myself in situations where I know I can't emotionally regulate. I get somewhere and lay down and I turn off that phone. But before we get into that, tell us about what you got going on.
I am. And don't let me forget that I have your portable fan in my car because I've been having it charged up waiting to give it to you. And I forgot to give it to you last week. But anywho, what I got? So this is the boys' birthday week. So we have Marvin on the 27th. And then today is the day that we're recording. It is LJ's birthday, and so we are about to hop on a flight, about to catch another flight. So we're about to catch a flight to DC and do a quick pop in and out.
I love it.
But I want to take them to the African American Museum.
The Smithsonian.
Yes.
I love it.
And, we're starting back school, and we are in Texas. So with them going into 7th and 8th grade, I'm like, you know what? I want them to, I'm big on experiences with them. So I'm like, instead of me sitting them down, they watching some boring documentary that they don't want to see, these kids don't be wanting to hear about all that like that. So I'm like, this would be a very good way for them to have the experience and have something they can tap back into. Like when this certain subjects come up, they will have a visual of this in their mind, being that they go to the museum and get to see it. And I've been before, so I'm like, this is really going to be
for them,
good for them to just,
I love it when you told me, because I know you were trying to figure out where you were going to take them, what you were going to do. And when you told me DC, I'm like, love it, because they have all the museums. And Kiara and I went a few years ago, a while back though, and I dropped her off at a summer camp, and I went, and I think I spent 2 days.
Yeah. So we're only there for 2 days. We're gonna do a little bit of sightseeing before we go to the museum, just so they can know I've seen the White House. I've seen this, like certain things. So I think that's a good way to actually explore your country that you live in. So
I love it.
So that should be fun. I'm excited about that. And obviously, Ready to Love is on. It is
and
airing,
popping.
and it is, honey,
pop for real,
y'all. So, we went through the experience, and that was already a lot, just going through it with everyone, trying to navigate the spaces. And now we're reliving. And people are it's a lot of drama outside of the show now. So I don't like it. I really don't like it. And it's mainly because, for obvious reasons, just, I don't know. It's like, I know for me, I care about like my reputation, I have kids, I have a job, I have, things that
you might want to be a councilwoman.
I'd like to yeah. And for me, that's just not who I'm on a day-to-day basis. I don't really have drama in my life. I don't have any like girlfriends that I'm fighting with, or, I just don't have that. So for me, I'm always like, can we all just get along? And they laugh at me because they be like, yo ass. I didn't mean to cuss. My bad. I'll beat that. They be like, you just be cool with everybody. I'm just almost to the point where people thought I was playing both sides when it comes to people who have drama. And I'm like, I don't know any of you. Like, I didn't know anybody except for 2 people before I came on the show, and they were guys. And I have no issues. Like, I literally, one thing I will say, and that would be that as I navigate, I don't know did we talk about this last week? I don't remember, but
tell me.
Mainly just that I really was just minding my business and drinking my water and focusing on my connections. And that was really it,
and that's what you do in real life. I think
that's it.
And you typically surround yourself with like-minded people who mind their business.
Yeah. And I'll say I'm probably the most boring cast member on this.
Which people probably did not expect.
Right. I'm like, I am the most boring person on this show.
And I wouldn't even say it's boring. It's just that you don't have drama.
And I do believe that as much as people say they don't want the drama
sells.
That's the part that's going to bring people to see what's going on every week. So for drama. Me, I'm like, I actually just was being my normal self. And so, it doesn't
get far from boring, y'all.
And it doesn't give me a lot of screen time on the show, which I'm fine with, because honestly, I feel like the less I'm on there, the less I say something stupid. Or I don't think I said anything crazy while I was on there, but it's just like, this is good. Keep it just regular for me.
A tweet, right? They were like, I want to see more of Aries. I'm like, but do they really? Because people want the drama.
But here's the thing. Let's go back to what we were talking about today, is that I'm not good for that kind of stuff. Because see, I am I've been redeemed. I've been delivered. I have a very slick mouth when I'm in my natural state. And what you all see today, this professional black girl,
refined version,
is a very refined version of who I am. I realized I was on the way to a company trip. I went on a trip last week for a couple of days for work. And I had a family situation that came up right before that. Like, I was up at 4:00 in the morning talking to my family member who was going through it. And I was sharing this with someone on my way to the airport. And the way they responded to what I was saying triggered me in a way that I'm like, I hung up the phone in the person's face.
Oh, wow.
And then I text back and was like, hey, I said something like, I didn't want to go back and forth, so I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was kind of like, like me expressing something to you, telling you like, my family member, this is going on, and you're stuck on this one thing over here that is not an important fact to what I'm talking about. Like, be here with me emotionally now, right? And the fact that you wanted to keep going back on a point of like just a random piece of information I felt it in my neck.
I feel that.
And I was like, you know what? We're going to hang up the phone. And it told me right then and there, thank God I'm in therapy.
Yes.
Because, which I was supposed to have a session tomorrow, and I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. But I was like, I still got a lot of work to do, because the fact that I don't like hanging up the phone in people's face, and I don't want to, obviously I don't want that to happen to me, but it let me know you're not all the way really ready to articulate yourself in moments like that, because I was very passionate in that moment and like emotional, you know, and although hanging up was the best thing to do in the moment, because I did not want to be going, you know, I didn't want to argue or nothing like that. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll talk to this person later. Right. And then I'll be able to express myself better at that time. But it made me just be like, ooh, I'm going to talk to my therapist about this, because there's clearly some spaces. And I notice it at certain times, and that'll usually be when I just get quiet.
Same.
So I'll say, as it pertains to Ready to Love, when y'all see me just sitting there, because there'll be more moments where I'm just going to be quiet. And so say what you want, but just know that I'm not about to be arguing. I'm not about to be going back and forth with people that I don't really know. I'm not going to do it. So I'm cool with that part, because that for me helps me. It's something that I had to learn and practice after having to start co-parenting. It made me really go through a process over the last 10 years of like getting my emotional regulation, you know, in check. And it's not something that happens overnight, because if you've just been raised a certain way or doing things a certain way, it is who you are at whatever age you are. That's how long you've been practicing this thing. So it's going to take a long time to try to correct this stuff. It's not an overnight thing. You can't read a book that will get you there, but you need to put all the other factors that you can in place to help you get to where you need to be. So it was a lot, but I'm just saying, because we're in a social media age, and people are thumb thugging and arguing on the comments and looking at, you know, people's trolling and whatever. And you could get really caught up in that stuff. And for me, I'm just like, yeah, it's not
worth it. And bullying behind those keyboards.
It's a lot. So I'm like, I don't want no parts of it. I really had no beef with nobody, but I also don't like when people are bullying folks, and it's not worth it. Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Emotional toll, and I don't want to take myself there and kind of like, you know what your triggers are. Because okay, your therapy appointments are Monday, mine are typically on a Friday, so I just had mine and I missed a month.
Yeah, but you said that.
But I wrote down everything I wanted to discuss with her, like in my response, like she was like, I'm really proud of you how you responded. And silence is a response.
It is a response.
Silence is a response.
Because you see me, and again, let me just bring this back into the mix. I am a follower of Christ. I do try to allow the Holy Spirit to really speak to me in certain moments. There's so many times where I'll be right there ready to do something or post something to my story or respond to something or do something. And I'll be like, delete, nope, never mind. This is stupid. I'm not doing that. So it's not something you're just going to be good at, but I really do try to be like, what is that going to be? You know, why am I doing this? Why would I do that? Or why would I respond? I'd rather just be quiet and then let the Lord fight my battles if I have any. But yeah.
Woo. All right. So professionally, I think.
So I went on that trip
to
Indianapolis, and it was cool because our theme for the conference was Formula One.
We have been highlighting Formula One a lot.
Really?
So yes, they're a customer.
Okay, so there you go. So, you know, obviously that's one of those places. It's just all sports, everything.
And it's a predominantly white sport.
Yeah, so I was asked by my marketing team to voice over a little video that they were going to put into the presentation, you know, for the weekend. So that was kind of cool because people came up to me. I might put it into the. I might put it in there. But people came up to me when I got to the conference, was like, was that your voice on the thing? Like people obviously recognize my voice, but I was like, yeah, that was me. So that was kind of cool. I was like, wow, I'm really like, I feel like I'm really coming into my own where things are your alignment. You know, when you're setting things up. I was just
going to tell you, God is just aligning. And when you send me that video, so I already had Formula One on the mind because number one, it's our customer. Two, I want to say there was something big going on in Chicago with the whole race car driving. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, do you realize like a black woman is voiceover for a predominantly white sport? Like that is amazing.
I know. I was like, okay.
I was a proud friend.
And I'm not like, I'm still new, you know, doing voiceover stuff. I mean, we talked about this on the podcast in the past, where I had went through voiceover training for months and look months.
How it came back.
And they saw it on my Instagram because I pinned my demo at the time.
I love it.
And that's how they knew that I even do it, you know? So I was just like, you know what, we got to start really sharing what we do, what we're passionate about,
your gifts will make
your gifts
room
exactly.
For you.
Yes. So I'm like, we can't just put our head down and do a good job and think people are going to notice. You have to share your gifts.
Share your gifts and walk in your purpose. Because, I mean, I was recently tapped for... First, I was tapped for internal career panel about reinventing yourself. And someone reached out like, hey, I got your name and we want to have you on this internal panel. And I'm like, what? Okay, it's 50,000 employees. How'd you find my name?
Come on, she's chosen. Few are called. Wait, how's it go? Wait.
I say I'm made for
many are called, but few are chosen. That's what it is.
And you are made for such a time as this.
Exactly.
And so I did the internal one, but before I got hit up for the internal one, I got another message and my boss was copied on it like, hey, there's a conference coming to Dallas. We want you to be on this panel for women in tech. And I was like, what? Again, where did you get my name? Because do you know how many other
people have a podcast called Bold Black Girls where you interview people and
so he was preparing me for such a time as this. So this week I'll be at that conference speaking on the panel. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. And you're on with another lady that I'm familiar with as well. So I was like, look at just all the connections connecting. I love it.
Everything.
And I'm going to try to sneak into the panel.
I'm going to try and get you in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway.
So we got some good things coming up. Oh, yes. This past week, speaking of professionalism and professional Black girl, this past week was Black Women's Equal Pay Day.
Equal Pay Day. Yes, child. Once again, we talk about how, we're holding on to our 63 and 64 cents on the dollar that every white man makes in the corporate space. And yeah.
And, we always share. That's our love language, sharing information and knowledge. So you sent me some stats because we love stats, right? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the stats.
Let's talk about it.
And we won't touch on it briefly, but when you sent me this, because I was like, where did you get this from?
Leanin.org. They did a report they do every year.
So they did the 2022? Okay.
This one it's probably last year's or 2021. Okay. They usually have the thing in there, but.
And so you sent me something that kind of highlighted, like it says the share of mothers who are breadwinners.
Yeah. So what it is this part right here where it said, like one of the reasons. So the thing about it is they said that we as Black women specifically, we missed out on like $907,000 of income because we are underpaid in our span of our career. Basically, I think they calculate like 35 to 40 years or something like that of work.
And that's a lot of money.
Which is realistic. And that's money that could have been a house, that could have been added to generational wealth. And one of the first things I would point out is the fact that we are very highly educated, right? Mm-hmm. But we're not compensated by that education. So it said women are better educated, but undervalued. And women have been graduating from college at higher rates than men for decades, but diplomas don't translate to dollars. The pay gap remains at higher education levels and actually increases for some women. Like as you get more advanced in your degree, the pay gap goes higher. which is crazy.
That's crazy, because then you're paying all of this money for education, yet your compensation is not comparable.
So think about it. Student loans.
Oh,
I just paid off mine.
You better tell them your testimony.
Did I talk about this?
You did not.
I ain't talking about it on the podcast.
People.
Woo, Lord Jesus. I feel like it's one day I'm just going to burst out into just tears or just explode. But I had $147,000 worth of student loans, y'all.
6 figures.
6 figures. But I'm going to, let me, first of all, thank God, because he made all this possible. But my grandmother, Lillian Estelle Webb, who in the 60s, her and her husband purchased a home. They got a divorce in the 70s. She was working full time for the Alameda Naval Base in Oakland, for her full 35 years. Perfect attendance, got awards from her job. We went up there and they gave her awards. She went back to college, get her associate's degree when she was like 60 and got an AA. We went to her graduation. Like it was so
a big
cute.
Deal.
Mm-hmm. And she was a part of 3 choirs, one at the school and 2 different churches. And just, she traveled. She had a great, life. And to be a single mom
in the 60s
in those times.
Yes.
And though their dad, my grandfather, we had, we were going back and forth to everybody, their houses and stuff like that. And he was doing well for himself as well. But her being able to hold on to a property like that for as long as she did, she passed away in 2002. My dad, 5 years before that, had already started paying the mortgage and taking the house over to help her out, because she was sick, dealing with some health issues. And then he lived in that house for the next 20 years until he passed away, which I'm going to go back to the fact that we talked about estate planning. Yes. And I had my dad do a trust in 2021. Because of that, he was able to pass everything down to me, the house and all the things and everything that he had, which one of the things he wanted to do was help me pay them student loans off. Like that was a big thing for him. He had been talking about doing that, and he did just that. But if he didn't have that trust and stuff, it would have probably been way more difficult to do. But I'm grateful because that's done now. And I can feel the burden already lifted off of me. Just the fact that I got 2 kids that's about to be in college in the next 5 and 6 years. So I gotta, if I want to have it where they don't have that, then I'm like, okay, now we got to be on point, like do all this. But when you think about the fact that the next stat that comes up is about moms,
being
what it looks like for mothers who are breadwinners, and what they categorize that is any woman that either, if they're partnered, they pay at least 40% of the household income, or they're by themselves and they're paying 100% of their household income, the household income. And basically, when people are dependent upon the woman's paycheck, everybody's affected, because if I'm missing out on $907,000, then, and maybe more if you're depending upon how highly educated you are or whatever, it's going to have an effect on the whole family, because
downstream.
We're the ones who are taking care of our elderly parents and the kids and neglecting ourselves most of the time. And the reason why we're going to get all this education so we can make more money, so we can help our family. It's just like a whole thing. So
it's a perpetual cycle.
We have to stay vigilant when it comes to what we can do about it. I'm hoping that's something changes over time. I just think that we've been seeing that number. As long as we've been knowing about Black women's equal pay day, the number ain't really moved, but like a penny, I think.
And also not only the money, but the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
The time frame. It's July. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about, you send me those stats, and you hear on the TikTok, they talk about the single moms, and we're not here to bash anyone, but when you look at this, it says the share of mothers who are breadwinners, and it says Black mothers, 74%.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at, they said the share of mothers who are breadwinners, we are the highest
out of
percentage. The next highest percentage is Native American mothers,
which is
at 58%, which is probably a lower, I'm sure, population of women that they probably were polling. on this one. And then Latina women,
47%.
47, white mothers, 45, and then Asian, 42. But 74%? That's a lot.
That means 26% of Black mothers pretty much are not breadwinners. Mm-hmm. That's a very low number.
Very low.
So when you sent that to me, I was like, that's kind of disturbing. And for me, when I think about dating, I'm thinking about these stats.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, as a man, how have you contributed to that?
Ooh, child. It'll mess you up. You'll be...
It will totally mess you up. And then you're thinking about, okay, here I am. I'm a breadwinner for my household.
But why you can't be one?
But sir, are you a breadwinner? How can we be equally yoked?
We can't be.
And then they say, oh, it's all about the finances. No, it's not, but it's a factor.
Love ain't paying these bills when that... I mean, because my thing is this. If I'm living in the house by myself and I'm paying all the bills, are you living in the house by yourself paying all the bills? That's the first start.
And taking care of your kids. Talk about that.
Well, yeah. Obviously, we're doing that, right? Because we have the kids. So usually.
So if I'm able to take care of my household and my child, but you, sir. Okay.
Anyway, we're not about to go down there.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go down there because this is not a.
What's the takeaway for this one? Because I feel like what time is it? I don't know how long we've been doing this.
It definitely takes into another topic of the burden and the Black tax of being a Black woman, which I think this is a part 2. We just kind of like from a pay perspective. We talk about Black Girl Magic. I think I had a moment one week. Somebody was like, I was at the gym. The trainer was like, "Come on, you strong?" And I'm like,
"I ain't strong."
Like, he was like, "Tap into that Black Girl Magic." And I just was like, see, that's the problem.
That is the problem.
That is the problem, is that you think you're entitled to my magic. My magic is for me.
It's for me. And that's the thing, because I definitely have, I don't even want to call it out. I ain't going to say, because I'm but I've definitely had it where a guy has been like, "You got it," and even on an emotional side,
yes,
where it's like, you ain't got no feelings.
Yes. And that's a tax. Like, I feel like my shoulders are broad because I've carried so much.
I have feelings, but me showing them has been not beneficial to me at certain points. Or let me show them in a negative way of being angry instead of showing, that I'm actually really sad and you hurt my feelings, which is something I tap back into. I've been tapping back into that for a while now, because I'm like, showing anger does not help.
It does not.
But it makes you very vulnerable to be honest about how you feel and stuff like that, because people really do be trying to play you when it comes to emotional
Absolutely.
stuff.
And
I ain't got it. I ain't got it.
That I don't like, because somebody had called me, left me a voicemail. I was like, oh, because my birthday was on Father's Day. And it was like, oh, I'm calling to wish you also a happy Father's Day. Do not wish me a happy Father's Day. I am not a man. I am not a man. I might be a breadwinner,
right?
But I am not a man. And I was just like taken back by that, and such a turnoff.
So I'm really, when those times come up where I can redirect the narrative, I do it. If someone says something around me or whatever, that I'm like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Like, even for me, I used to think my value was in how much I can give to my family and help them and be there and be that one, that auntie, the rich auntie.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And now I'm like, I ain't got it. Because I don't. I got to save for college. I got 2 kids I got to save for. I ain't got no money for you.
And that could not only just be money, it could be time.
I ain't got that
you call and ask. I don't have that time. Mm-hmm. And I think for so long, and I had this in my therapy session, she told me 2 things. She said, Kim, you got to show up as that person even when you're not happy, because people always see you as that. Mm-hmm. So I'm human too. I can have feelings.
And that's why, like, when I'm in my feelings, if somebody says, "How are you doing?" I don't lie.
Right.
And they might show it on the show. I don't know, because there was definitely a point where my dad's birthday was close and we were filming, and I was just like.
And that's real. So we have to show up authentically as ourselves. That's very important for people to see that, because then that portrays that strong Black woman.
Look, identity. I ain't about that life.
And I'm
not strong. I'm not strong.
No.
I I just leave me out of it.
And I'm talking about professionally and personally.
Personally, professionally, every day.
Remember a time professionally when, things were really contentious at work, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so strong. I'm like, you don't hear them say Asian girl strong, white woman strong. Right. So why is it the black strong woman?
Well, because it's like, when they say the media. Yeah. It's a storyline that is just continuously perpetuated. That's why that we have to try to change the narrative and really lean into this. Don't let nobody make you feel guilty for wanting to be in your soft girl era. I see little jokes. I'm like, that's fine. Joke while I'm on the beach. Joke while I'm turning my phone off and not answering the phone call for anybody because I don't feel like talking. Like there's so many ways that I'm in my summer.
Everybody else can do it, but the black one, when they do it, it's cool. It's cool when we do it, it's a problem.
Exactly. Nah, we're not doing that anymore. So, I don't know. I just think that we gotta be okay with just being it don't gotta be magical every day.
No.
It don't need to be.
It's not going to be magical. It does not have to be.
I told her, I was like, child, I was here all day yesterday. I did not have the energy to do one thing when it came to packing. I went and got my nails done. I laid on the couch and I literally was just like, I am like stuck on stupid right now. Like, I feel like let me just sit here and eat my little salad.
We are the same. We are in the same seat. Listen.
And I ain't about to feel guilty for laying down. So when we get done here, I'm going to finish packing. I got 1 hour. And then I'm going to finish packing. And we're going to be out of here.
Magic on you.
Yeah, I'm good under pressure. But I'm not going to
allow others to apply pressure to me.
No, because it was so much going on. Really, like the Alphas was out this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Somebody was like, hey, you want to hang out?
I was like, child.
I was like, I'm not about to waste my good sleep on that.
For what?
I'm gonna go to bed.
It's gonna be
according to them statistics,
it's gonna be the same.
Because according to them statistics, the breadwinning ain't winning, so I'm gonna stay at home.
Exactly. Let me save some money.
So my time. So
exactly. Anyway,
our key takeaways. Yes. I would say, pour into yourself and put yourself first. Even on the plane. I was on a plane. So I going to North Carolina. I forgot where I was at. It was just me. It was 2 black little girls there. The flight attendant assumed that they were mine.
Oh.
And so she was like, make sure you put your mask on. I said, oh, those are not mine. And I think she thought I was joking, but I was like, those aren't mine.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you, if it was, I might help, but I'm putting my mask on first.
Okay.
So we need to take heed to that and really, like, I know we jokingly say that, but that's real. Like, I can't pour into you if my cup is empty.
Yeah.
Kids, family, friends, whoever.
And as it pertains to Black Women Equal Pay Day, make sure y'all are negotiating and asking for what you deserve. So that'll help that part of the stat until we get the rest of it fixed. Make sure you are asking for what you're supposed to get.
And if you're not getting it, move on.
Exactly.
That's another topic that we'll be talking about.
We can contribute to.
Absolutely. And then
putting us first.
Putting us first, personally, professionally, in every aspect of life. Self-care. Mm-hmm. Like you said, rest. Like I have literally been I asked God, I said, this is going to be my year of restoration. And in the word restoration is rest. And I've been resting.
And I think COVID really we're still affected by it.
I'm absolutely affected by it.
I'm different.
I'm totally, and I don't think people understand that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm different. And I'm not necessarily mad at how different I am, but
I'm not either.
It's a different phase.
Absolutely.
So.
What I tolerate and what the things that I used to entertain and the things that I value, that is no longer. Emotionally regulate yourselves, because when you do that, you get yourself worked up. That causes blood pressure.
Your neck.
We're in our 40s.
Veins. I'll be going, hold on, because look, I ain't trying to have a heart attack.
The back.
Okay.
You said you felt that in your throat. I feel the stuff in my back.
I was like, okay, hang this phone up right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, y'all better start praying. Wake up in the morning and really start asking God to be with you, guide your mouth, your heart, your mind, all of that. Because I'm rebuking this devil. This devil been acting a doggone fool, and we are not going to let him come up in here and, wreak havoc in our lives. Like, just don't do that. So just really pray and ask God to just order your steps, give you what you need for the day, show gratitude for the things that he's doing. Because when I tell you, I'm like,
align me to where I need to be and who needs to be in my life and who doesn't.
Amen.
Surround yourself with people that are
like-minded.
Yeah. Because they will influence you. I think
and you're protecting your energy because there's certain people I just be like, look, I have no issue with you, but I don't really prefer to be in your presence. It's too negative. I just really don't want to. So there's times where you're going to have to be in spaces with certain people and it's cool. But like, just because we're doing that doesn't mean we're friends.
Yep.
Okay.
And if we're friends and things have evolved, we might not be the same.
Right.
And that's okay because that's part of evolution and transformation.
Exactly. So.
And I would also say stay classy and don't let yourself get out of character.
Stay classy,
like
my
how
friends.
you do on Ready to Love. Everyone who texts me is like, Aries is just keeping it cute and classy. I was like, that is her.
That's just me. Just being myself, you know? Because I'm also thinking that we are on national TV. Let's not play the game like we're not on TV.
And your sons might see you as well.
And the people that we're dealing with. I don't want to ever be in a place where I'm like embarrassing someone or doing something just to be ugly or messy. Like, that's just not it. That's not cool. I'm always going to be thinking like, how can I make sure that, you know.
Right. And you want someone to say, you know what, I'm going to call her for an opportunity. I loved how she handled herself on Ready to Love.
You know?
And I think the last
Come on, put that in the atmosphere.
I think and guess what? And then the overflow come on over to your friends.
Exactly.
That's why you surround yourself with those type of people. And not just for that, but there are opportunities where we both have shared with each other.
Exactly.
And I think the last thing, and I think we both agree on this, is rest.
Rest. Yes, get your beauty rest. Exfoliate. Go to Sephora. Go to Target, and get you some little things that smell good, make you feel good. Run you a bath, draw you a bath, and just chill. You know, I think that's some people just don't even do that.
They don't.
So,
and drink your tea. Rest and drink your tea.
Drink your tea and your water, your alkaline water,
and your juice,
the pH.
Pineapples.
But anywho, so make sure you are tuned in to Ready to Love on Fridays at 7 p.m. Central, and that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel as well as our whatever podcast player of choice that you are listening to us on. We thank you for your love and support, and continue to engage with us in the comments, and we will see y'all next time. So have a bold week. See you next time.
Peace.